Makers.
Happy on the beat.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Bitcoin Pizza Day. Happy Bitcoin Pizza Day, everybody. I heard that on Koinly Crypto that it's Bitcoin Pizza Day today. How about that? You guys heard the story of the guy that I didn't look this up yet, by the way. So I'm just going because I literally was just watching Koinly Crypto while I was getting ready. And someone said it in the comments, so I haven't had a chance to look it up. But I'm going to assume it is what it is, right? But what it probably is, if it is, today is celebrating the day that the guy bought two large pizzas from, I think it was a Papa John's for 10,000 Bitcoin. Can you imagine what this guy feels like today? Can you imagine what this guy feels like today? So we are... going to talk about Vulcan today and all kinds of different things. And I know you're wondering about the title because you're like, why does it say that? She hasn't gone anywhere, but we just haven't seen her as much. So we're going to talk to Chalk Talk today and see what's on her mind. How about that, everybody? That is absolutely fantastic. But after that, we'll see. So we're going to talk about the blockchain. We're going to talk to Chalk Talk. And then, we'll talk to Chalk first, and then we'll go over some stuff on the blockchain. And then after that, I don't know. We'll see. You never know what's going to happen on Daniel Prado Worldwide.
The future has come.
Daniel Prado Worldwide.
Good time of day, whatever time of day it is for you, to all of my beautiful people from around the world. There's an announcement in the Discord that we'll get to right after we're done talking with Chalk. I don't know if Chalk might want to stick around for everything else, but there she is, everybody. Chalk Talk. What's up?
Hey, Daniel, how are you?
I'm fantastic. You know, I was speaking with you earlier this morning. You and I were having a conversation. We decided to just come on the air. Why not? But one of the things that I've noticed is that we don't see a lot of you covering Vulcan and Seifu. And the last time you were even on my channel was, I got to say, more than a month ago. Everyone was talking about how, oh, look how great Daniel is with Chalk, this, that, and the third. That was a while ago still. So what's going on? Why are we not hearing from you as much? Are you going to come back? I want you to come back and start with us with the daily Vulcan or semi-daily and maybe do some live shots. I was going over some ideas with you this morning. Do we have a chance at that? Or like, have you changed? Like what's going on with Chalk Talk? Explain to us, please.
Well, hi, everybody. I have not gone anywhere. I am here.
No.
I am absolutely behind Vulcan. But there's a number of reasons why I perhaps haven't been quite as active on Vulcan in terms of videos and maybe covering other stuff. So,
well, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody how you feel?
Okay.
So maybe we can clear the air and maybe get to the bottom of things.
Okay, and there are two really important things that I want to cover off in this. Let's get to that in a second. So let me tell you the story, okay? So obviously we all know since Sacrifice, which was many months ago now, of course there's been lots of news and lots going on, not least obviously Seifu Go, which I'll come to in a second. But I think we've all recognized as YouTubers, and I've heard you say it yourself, Daniel, that sometimes there is no news in terms of Vulcan, and we fill our channels with other things. And I know you yourself, you've approached subjects outside of crypto about all sorts of bits and pieces, some of which we disagree about, but it's your YouTube channel, and people either watch you or they don't when you're doing that stuff. And I think back in just before Christmas, I came to the same conclusion that actually there is going to be news about blockchain, but not as much as obviously we had before Sacrifice. So I thought I would start looking around just to see what else might be of interest to the community. And one of the things I stumbled across was a brand new project at the time, which was Cause for the Calves. And it's a project that really chimed well with me. Are you still there, Daniel? I think you are. I think you are.
Yeah, I'm here. It's just, I had to change my Wi-Fi. I realized
Oh,
it
no.
was on
Okay,
the-
that's fine.
it was on the wrong one, so I looked like crap.
Yeah.
But now I look good.
Never. Well, always, of course. So there was a new project on the block, which was calls for the calves, which really chimed with what I wanted to see in a project. And, you know, I'm not going to try and sell calf because I think, you know, that's not what this is about. And I'm just explaining what I started to cover on my channel.
Yes.
But, you know, continued to cover Vulcan. Seifu was a bit quiet at the time, but then we had that mad thing in the new year about Seifu when it died and then it came back to life, and I was covering all of that, and that was all great. But also on the lookout for other projects for the Vulcan community, because we all know that a blockchain without projects is a dead blockchain. Okay, so it's fantastic. We've got the Vulcan blockchain, but what's going to sit on it? Well, some of the things that are going to sit on it are our community projects, and I have picked a few to cover, and that's what I started to cover. So that was all going fine. Then, of course, one of the projects I chose to cover was one, which very quickly, because I thought the tokenomics were great, a really simple project with just simplicity at its core. I really liked it, so I thought that's one that I would cover. And to be fair, anybody that did get into that at the beginning would have made a killing and still potentially could. But that's another, again, I'm not here to sell any project.
Yeah.
But, you know, as many people know, there was drama very early doors with one.
Very early doors. Is that the way they say? Is that something that they say in England?
That's what we say in England. Early doors.
I've never heard that. That's why anytime I hear something like that, I'm gonna smile. But go ahead.
Every day's a school day. We say
Yes,
early doors. Anybody else in the UK? Have I just made that up myself? No. Very early doors, there was big drama in one.
There was, but let me just interrupt you just for a second, because I do want to get to some comments here, because I want you to know there are some people that have noticed. First of all, Jay Legend was here. Sky Dreams comes in second. Wise Choice third. I think it goes Richard Hudman, who comes in third. Aaron Nash to show. Curly tops off the top 5. But you have different comments like, let me see here. Well, here goes one. It's not that positive, but she said she needs to stop shilling poo coins first. CAF is a scam, so I know you don't like to see that, but
well, I don't like to see it because it's not true. But we'll come back to that.
We'll come back to that, and then we have Chalk. Hi, where have you been? We are. How are you? Long time since I've seen you.
Well, can I just say on that, Gino's got a bit of tongue in cheek there because he was on a live stream that I was doing this morning of CARP. He's a massive supporter. So,
good. All right, there you go. That's good. That's good. That's good. So it's not all like that. Then we have some people in here saying we miss you, Chalk.
Yeah.
You know, hope like just positive things. And I know there goes Universal Text saying, "Hey, DP and Chalk." Let me see. Love you, Chalk Talk, Chris Cruz.
Hey, Chris Cruz, love you too, man.
We miss you, Chalk, from Richard Hubman. So there's a lot of positivity in the crowd for you, Chalk. I just wanted to let you know that so that you can feel a little bit good about what you're talking about. The crowd is positive for you. So say what you need to say.
No, I know that, but I know there's a lot of negativity about because I've read it in Discord and I've, continue to read it, and that's
no, but
fine.
look, you got a platform. You get to talk to everybody. Everyone's waiting to hear what you have to say. Okay. So continue. I wanted to just go ahead with that.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So I'm not going to get dragged into what the drama was. I think many people know the drama around one, but let's just say that. And there was an announcement made actually after all the drama. We know that Brian came on your channel. You had Keith there and Oliver, and there was this massive discussion that was resolved, and the upshot was that neither Oliver or Keith were seen to have rogued or been scammers in any way, shape or form. And in fact, the announcement that is still in one, if anybody wants to go and see it, is, and I'm not going to read it all, but it says, "We've been open and objective about our assessment of the events that transpired. The conclusion is there is no blame for any one person in the team and the community. There was never a rug pull." So both Keith and Oliver left those discussions and the project actually in as positive way as it possibly could be. But Keith agreed, because the relationship was killed off between the two of them. We know that it was going to be difficult for them to go forward. So they agreed that Keith would step away from that project. However, because I think Keith stepped away from that project, he was used as the scapegoat and was tagged by, I think, many people who perhaps haven't done their research and haven't got to the core of what really went on. And I'm afraid very lazily have labeled Keith a scammer or whatever it is. At that time, I'm going to be honest here, and I'm not breaking any confidences, but I was having a little discord with Brian in the background, and he made his feelings clear as well about that whole thing, and I didn't agree with it. So anyway, that's that. But you know, the reason I'm giving the example of One is I had been talking about One on my channel, and I therefore felt a responsibility to see through the resolution. But then I stepped away from One because I just didn't feel it was right for me to continue given the circumstances and all of that. So I stepped away from One. But unfortunately, the hearsay, the gossip, the rumors about Keith were multiplied everywhere. So that was that. Keith then at the same time, and this is another important point I want to talk about, because this is also about Zoin, because there are horrendous rumors going around today about another one of our projects, which is Zoin. And I want to put those to bed because this is shocking stuff. So, and I know it's a bit like story time, but it is important.
No, we want it. We need this. We need this. We need this.
So I'm kind of trying to explain what I've been doing. So the whole One thing took a lot of my time. It was about a week of my time just, you know, sorting all that through. So, and all eyes were on One, and it was right and proper for me to help bring resolution, etc. At that whole same time, it may not be known, but Sonia Angel, who has been a moderator in many Discords and loved by many, she was also in conflict, let's say, within One. She decided to leave One around the same time, and she started her own Discord, which many people joined. And she wanted to start her own project. And she reached out to Keith because he had put the tokenomics together for One and his own project Carve. She was a moderator on Carve. And so she reached out to him and said, Keith, please, can you help me with the contract? And that is the contract that is now Zoin. But what happened was Keith did all the contract in the background. Zoin was launched under Sonia as CEO. And on day 2, Sonia basically held the project to ransom, to blackmail. Okay, now probably everybody's looking at this going, what, where, eh?
But this is not just you speaking and just talking out of line. You've got receipts. I've seen them. So everybody, what you're saying is actually true. And Sky High, give her a chance here. Keith is batting 0 for 0. Everything he touched is messed up. It's actually what she's talking about here is the explanation as to what actually happened. So go ahead, Chuck.
Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, and yeah, there is a common denominator here, but actually the common denominator has been made the common denominator as the villain by the community, I'm afraid, or some in the community. So anyway, Zoin launches. Keith was the one that put the contract together, but that was his only involvement. Suddenly, literally on day 2, Sonia is saying she's pulling the plug on the project. This is all in private conversations. The community wasn't aware of this at the time, because had the community become aware, everybody on day 2 of a project would have just run for the hills, and it would have been dead in the water, and people had already invested money into Zoin. So I was in Zoin, but I didn't cover it as a YouTuber. I was just in it. I was interested in it. But I got pulled into this kind of day 2 negotiation because I was in the community, and I guess I'm seen as a reasonable kind of gal who seems fair and just and all of that. So I got pulled into this horror show of Sonia, and again, I have screenshots coming out of my arse on this, and I'm happy to share them with anybody. But
well, I saw a couple of them. You don't, not all of them, but I know you've told me a lot. You've got a lot of them that are all incriminating for her or him. We'll just say her or him, because I don't think that's a her, to be honest with you.
Well,
but
that's an important point, because Sonia never doxed even on voice to anybody. And it was when she was basically saying she wanted access to everything. And Keith, the reason this blew up, Keith said, well, okay, you're the CEO, I will sign everything over, but we at least need a conversation before I do that. And she refused, and then turned very nasty, demanding 50,000 Zoin tokens, or else she would pull the plug on the project, basically, in a nutshell. Okay. And again, screenshots galore to prove that, of her demanding 50K, of her saying that she would manufacture screenshots to incriminate people. I have that. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so let's not get dragged into that. Now, at that time, the other person that got dragged into this was Andrew, who's Doors Monkey, who is now the CEO of Zoin. He got pulled in because there were all sorts of rumors swirling around about the biggest wallet in Zoin. And there was a massive wallet. And of course, what happened was that wallet, in the first, I don't know, a few hours, the wallet had a huge amount of Zoin, 167,000 Zoin in a wallet, and suddenly divided it all into little wallets. And that sent rumors around every community. Oh, there's somebody about to rug pull, there's a whale, and they're trying to hide this, that, and the other, and they're a bad actor and all of that kind of thing. The reason why Andrew, Doors Monkey, got pulled into it, negotiations, is he had made himself known already to Sonia and Keith that he was the whale. And he had literally sat there at the launch of Zoin, and he had pressed the button. The contract address was out because the audit was there. He'd literally sat, as we all hope to do with ESCO in tomorrow, whenever it is. Yes. He'd sat on the launch button, and he was refreshing that page. He hit the buy button, and he spent 3 BNB and got 167,000 Zoin.
Out of 500,000.
Okay, so that's 750 is the total supply, but yeah. So,
but at the time it was 500,000 that was available.
Exactly, yeah. So he immediately came forward and said, guys, I'm the whale. I never thought I'd be in this position, but look, I just want to be honest. I don't want to damage anything. I want to support this project, etc. That's how Andrew got pulled into these negotiations with Sonia. And he was actually offering at some point to give her 50,000 Zoin tokens from his own holdings. Anyway, Andrew's been very open about all of this in Zoin AMAs. We've told this story. We're very open with the community in terms of the sequence of events here. So, to cut a long and boring story short, at that point, Keith said, look, I want nothing to do with this. Andrew, you're going to be, well, Keith didn't say you're going to be the new CEO, but it came to pass that Andrew agreed to save the project, become the CEO, be very transparent about his wallet. He brought all of his Zoin tokens together again so that everybody can see, monitor what he's doing. He's undertaken not to sell anything for 2 months and then only do it in certain increments. He's the most straightforward, upstanding guy you will ever wish to meet, and I think he's a great CEO.
He seems like a good guy. He was on your channel. You spoke to him. He, was pretty open about everything.
He's great, and he is so transparent and wants to be. So, and the other thing he's done is he has actually given 50,000 tokens, not to Sonia, but to the community to help fund competitions and all of that. So he's undertaken to do that. So that's Andrew and how he got involved. Meanwhile, Sonia was paid a little bit of Zoin. I think she was given 1,000 Zoin. She had demanded 50,000. She was given 1,000 with discussions about perhaps further payments. But because she was holding Discord hostage. And of course, without a Discord, you've got nothing. So we had to kind of keep her aside. But last week, and sorry, I am still telling this because this is what I've been involved with.
No, we want to hear the story. That's why I have you on, so you can explain this kind of stuff. Nobody knows, so it's up to you.
I know. And okay. So so last week, I'm now on the team of Zoin. You know, I've suddenly become, you know, the YouTuber, the marketeer, because nobody else is doing it. And, you know, at the center of this project, and of course, we have Vulcan Safer investors who have got money. So it's all, sorry, I'm not getting distracted, but it's all very well say, well, why is she doing that? Walk away from these poo coin projects. No, these are proper projects where people have put money in. Okay, so I'll come back to that in a second. So back to Zoin. Sonia walked away. But last week we decided as a team we could not continue risking the fact that she still had a hold over Discord. Okay, she would not give us that, and so we took the really difficult decision to transfer to a brand new Discord, and it was all done very suddenly because we had to. Almost immediately, myself, Andrew, team members were blocked out of the existing Zoin Discord. We already had a new one to go to, and we did as much as we can to get people across there. But of course, that in itself has turned into a rumor about Zoin. Oh, the Discord has disappeared, it's a rug. No, we're protecting people's investments here by keeping this project, actually just not by keeping it going, by continuing what could be a fantastic project. And it is a fantastic project, and we've got such fantastic ideas about Zoin. Okay, so there is a Zoin Discord. Unfortunately, I did ask for the Discord address to be changed on the project listing of Zoin on Vulcan, you know, the projects list. Yeah. Because that's a link that people use to get to projects. I asked for that to be changed at least a week ago, and it hasn't been. Now, suddenly this morning, I go to that projects list, and guess what? Zoin has been taken down. I then go into the Vulcan blockchain, into the Vulcan Discord, where I see all sorts of actual, sorry, but bullshit being said about Zoin, Cough, and there is, sorry, the bit I've left out of this, sorry, and this is important. When Sonia left Zoin, she kept hold of the old Zoin Discord and changed it into her new project, which is called VoltaX. Now, full disclosure here, I've got nothing to do with VoltaX. Yeah, Compliment had actually mentioned that in the comments. He said, talk about this VoltaX, because that was crazy to me. And I don't know what he's talking about. I was going to ask after you were done, but you just brought it up. So what is that? Is that the one where she stole money from that too? Okay, so I know this seems really complex, but Sonia went from Zoin. She kept hold of the old Zoin Discord and changed it into VoltaX. She announced in there, I understand, it was a private sale, so people were asked to send BUSD, I think, to a wallet address with the promise of a white paper coming. This was only like in the last week this happened. I believe that yesterday was the deadline for those people to send the BUSD to this. I can't be sure because I'm not in it, but my understanding is that deadline came, went, suddenly Discord, the Discord that was VoltaX, where Sonia was saying her friend was the CEO, something called, was it Arthur or something like that? Anyway, it doesn't matter. There was another character in here, which we're wondering was a Sonia alt. Anyway, the deadline came and suddenly the VoltaX Discord disappeared, and suddenly rumors going around that it's a rug and it's a scam. Now, again, I have no evidence of that. I'm making absolutely no comments on that. What I don't want to do is do what everybody else, well, many people have done and jumped on that, oh, it's a scam, it's a scam. I've looked at the wallet, and the donations that people have made are all actually still in the wallet, so nothing has happened to them. Sonia might come back in a few days and say, hey guys, sorry, Discord failed. We're all still here. It's all still good. What I will say though, my dealings with the Sonia character through Zoin, I have absolutely no hesitation from my experience of that 2 days negotiating with her. She is a bad actor. There's no question. She was out to hold hostage, Zoin hostage for 50,000 Zoin tokens.
Mm-hmm.
I have it in writing. I say, so you want money rather than stay on and be CEO of this great project? Yes, I want the money. I deserve this, blah, blah, blah.
Mm.
So I don't know what's happened to VoltaX. I do know that people that have given their BUSD across in good faith have been saying they think it's a scam, they think it's been rugged, they don't know how they're going to get their money back. But
Yeah, that's what I've heard. It was just gone, like she just walked in it. That's what I heard.
But unfortunately, what then happens, and what has happened in Vulcan Discord only yesterday, is that community members, jump on the whole, oh, VoltaX, Zoin, Carve, all the same people, all a scam. And this drives me insane because, let me tell you, well, first of all, I'm just going to read a quote.
Okay.
No, I'll come back to that. Let me come back to that if it's relevant. But let's think back, shall we, to Daniel. You know this as well as more than anybody. What was the biggest challenge around Seifu?
The FUD, the attacks on Brian.
Okay. If I may suggest, and I know that people in the comments and watching this will absolutely pull me down for this. Okay. How is what is happening now internally to our own project, how is that any different to the FUDers that attacked Seifu? How is it any different? We spent time and energy, quite rightly, defending what we believed was right, defending Brian, defending what happened with Brian, defending Seifu because we believed it was right. And we've all watched Brian himself defending himself from the FUD, and we have supported him in that. We now have within the Vulcan ecosystem 2 projects that are being FUDed. And I'm sorry, it's in exactly the same way. People who jump on hearsay rumors, and actually what I will say, feelings. I don't really like Keith. He doesn't really fit with what I think should be done in a crypto project. He's just a farmer. He doesn't have a clue what he's doing. How can he? He's only a farmer. He's a scammer. What if, just for a second, guys, what if actually Keith is genuinely a man with honesty and integrity that is absolutely doing his best to provide projects to sit on the Vulcan blockchain? Because, of course, the other little bit to this story is that, unfortunately, Carve was subject to another bad actor in this space only 2 weeks ago. And there was liquidity stolen, not by Keith, by a developer who got access. And Keith has been very, very transparent about this completely. He has said he made an error. He was victim to a very clever scammer, and he admits, as CEO, he should have seen it and he didn't. He made a mistake, but he said he would get the project up and running again and nobody would lose any of their investment. And that is exactly what he's done. And not one person who is invested in Carve has lost anything. Keith replaced the liquidity from his own personal funds to get Carve back up. He's launched a brand new version of the contract. And this isn't about persuading people to get into Carve or not. That's not what this is about. But at the center of this is a member of our community who is honest to the day's long, but has been scapegoat for every single bloody scam tale that is going. And I'm sorry, I am passionate about this. It's wrong. And this is at the center, to get back to your initial question, this is at the center as to why I have perhaps not been so focused on Vulcan, but focused on other things, because this, to me, honesty and integrity is more important to me than anything else, including actually my YouTube channel. And I've said that to you, I know. But I'll say it again. If I believe in something and I believe somebody or something is being defamed incorrectly, then I will stand up for them as I have stood up for Brian in the past.
Well, you're here. There's 120 people watching, 118 people. It's fluctuated around there. And you're here to bat for Keith. You're here to tell everybody the absolute truth, right? This is it.
Absolutely.
This is none of this that has happened. And you're putting your name on the line, your channel, your reputation, because you know for sure, factually, you've got receipts the whole 9 yards. This is not Keith. Tell everybody what the bottom line is here.
One originally went tits up because of a misunderstanding between Keith and Oliver. No wrongdoing was done. Zoin, although involved Keith has got nothing to do with Zoin. That was held ransom by Sonia, but the project is in the hands of a brand new team, Andrew, myself, and we are passionate about not just making this a fantastic project, but changing this whole goddamn space that we are in, because at the center of Zoin is a charter that we have written about professionalism.
Yes.
It's about professionalism, because if we cannot be professional, if we cannot have values in what we're doing, we are never going to change this space, and we are never going to get buy-in from all those millions of people across the world. When we're saying, oh, crypto is the future, it's going to take over everything. I'm sorry, we're in bloody dreamland there, because until we get this sorted out, our honesty, our integrity, our professionalism, let's not say honesty, integrity, because people go, oh, sure, she's so nice and she believes everybody. No, bullshit, sorry. I want to be professional. I've worked in the professional world. I know what it is to be a professional. I know what it takes to be a high-performing team and to get things done. And what I see day in, day out, and I'm sorry, from some of our community members, is so far from being professional, they should be ashamed of themselves. Calf started as a project before Christmas. It has been going for 5 months. It had something go wrong. Keith has said he made an error. Now I'll bring in my quote. Let me just read you this. Unfortunately, this is a CEO that said this. Hold on. Unfortunately, due to things happening and due to a lot of negativity, the project didn't succeed. Yes, it was failure. I did not do a good enough job as CEO with that project. With that being said, I learned a lot of what not to do and learned from those mistakes. Can anybody just guess who said that?
Keith?
No, Brian. In
Right.
his very first live video, he admitted to mistakes he had made in a previous
Well, that is true. You're right about that. Yes.
Keith has admitted to a mistake, but he has also said he will learn from that mistake. He has learned from that mistake. He has made amends. The calf community is thriving and is there and absolutely behind Keith. And what's really interesting, Calf version 2 launched a few days ago. So Calf back on the market. Now, of course, what Keith did when the liquidity was stolen, he paused the contract to make sure that nobody could trade so that nobody lost anything. Okay. Mm-hmm. He launched version 2 of the contract. Now, if that community had been really pissed off with Keith and suspected him to be a rug puller, what would they have done? They would have done anything they could to sell their calf and get out of there. Now, if you look at the calf token chart for the first 24 hours, it skyrocketed because the community were there saying, Keith, we believe in you. We've been here all the time. We never suspected anything. We are here for you and for Calf too. And that's the way it's gone.
Remember, Brian has been saying this, and we all stood by him. That's true, Grant Brown.
And
So perhaps maybe we should give Keith another chance, is what you're saying.
Okay. Well, I would say Keith doesn't need another chance because he's done nothing wrong. But if, you know...
But in the eyes of some, because of maybe being led by others that were falsely led that way, maybe because you're saying it, I trust you. I trust you.
I know.
So that's the bottom line.
And I'm grateful for that. I will just read one more thing that Keith, oh God, I'm getting all passionate and confused. Hold on. I just want to read one more thing that Brian did say, and I'm not trying to use Brian's quotes against him, but I go back to the fact that we have stood by Seifu, Brian, everything. When everything was thrown at Brian, we have stood by him as a community because we believed in him. Now, if you go back to, again, one of Brian's earliest videos where he is coming out, I think he says an emergency AMA to beat FUD or something. And just think about those people that have said Keith is a scammer and just dismissed him. Okay, this is what Brian said about himself. I am not a scammer. I believe that if I were to be hypothetically some scammer or thinking as one would do, they definitely wouldn't want to show their face on camera. They would not want to be transparent. They would not want to come out and tell you what's going on. Now, I'm sorry, but Keith has done nothing but being transparent. He has told everybody he can about the reality of what happened. He made a mistake. He has made good. Calf 2 is here for the long term. And yet, when asking to be put back on the Vulcan projects list, he was told no. There's absolutely no way that there's going to be an ESCO pairing because Vulcan management don't want anything to do with Keith. And again, I'm not telling tales here. This is a conversation that has been had, and I just find it incredibly disappointing. We have all made mistakes. I have made mistakes outside of crypto and in crypto. I've lost money because I've made mistakes. Have you made mistakes, Daniel? In any of your life, have you ever made a mistake? No, of course not. But how can we be better if we
Of course, yes, you're right. I think you should talk to Brian again. And I know that that's hard because you guys are, have a little bit of a tiff going on because you're not covering as much Vulcan. And I understand Brian's side of it, and I understand your side of it. But there is a medium here. There's a medium. I think if you spoke with Brian about, because you have all the receipts, by the way, like, you could show Brian, like, this is actually, there's a big misunderstanding here about Keith. Okay. Because I would like for it to go back on. And the reason why is because I'm listening to you. You've shown me a few things, but I'm mainly listening to you, and I believe you. So if you're telling all of this, I think you're telling the truth. And I think Brian should take that, and that should hold a lot of weight. And then also, show him if he needs to, and let Cav come back in. Everybody, it's only at 3 cents right now. It was an all-time high of like 20 cents or something. This could change things around. There's only 5 million tokens. Great tokenomics. The guy knows what he's doing. He's helped other projects that there's been drama, but it just turns out that there turns out to be drama, but not in any fault of his. Right? This is all the things that you're telling me. These things have just kind of fired out of control, like a wildfire that he has no control over, but yet he's being looked at as the bad guy. When in fact, in the way you're seeing and the way you're telling us, he doesn't have anything to do with any of this nonsense.
No, and to go back to the original question, which is why we're here, and people are saying, where's Chalk Talk B?
Yes.
Well, all of this drama takes time.
Yes.
And you have just said that myself and Brian aren't on best terms. And again, I'm here to support Vulcan.
That can be fixed though, Chalk. Okay, I wouldn't worry too much about that. You've seen this happen before with others.
I'm not worried about that. What I am worried about though is that I have petitioned for Calf and Keith, and I have made it clear that to me, honesty and integrity is everything, and that is why I absolutely will stand by what I am doing. Thank you, Crypto Terry, and I'm a big fan of yours.
Well, Brian
But,
might be watching now too. Brian, if you're watching, go ahead and make a comment. I mean, I think that this is
absolutely,
compelling stuff. I mean, it is chalk talk we're talking about, Brian. She is putting herself on the line here. I don't think she's lying about anything. Go ahead, Chalk.
Do you know what? I'm such a Catholic girl, honestly. Well, I could say it till I'm blue in the face. I'm not lying, but you know, I'm just another.
I know you're not lying. I believe you.
And I have petitioned for Keith, and the petition I've said was he made a mistake, because there's two accusations been thrown at Keith. A, he's a scammer, he's a rugger. No, I'm sorry. No. You know, the blockchain never lies, but what is at fault here is people's interpretation of the blockchain. Okay. So, and I think a lot of people have accepted that Keith isn't a scammer or a rugger, but now instead of that, because they've kind of pulled him down, it's hard for people to then say, oh, okay, I was wrong. So instead of saying he's a scammer, he's a rugger, that's changed to, well, he might not be a scammer or a rugger, but he made an error, and that's worse than being a scammer or a rugger. And actually, yeah, it's great to have honesty and integrity, but he made a mistake, and that's worse. And I'm sorry, that's the rhetoric. If that's what's being, if we are saying genuinely as a community that we would prefer to have in our midst a scammer and a rugger over somebody who has been very transparent, come out and said they've made a mistake and have made amends. If we value a scammer and a rugger above that, I want no part of anything to do with any one of you. Because that to me is so far from where we need to be as a community. It's disgusting. Yeah. I'm sorry, it is. How have we got to this? How have we got to the stage where it's okay to all gang up in a bullying way on Keith the crypto farmer and anything that he has had anything to do with? Suddenly it's all bunched together into this kind of hatred, when actually at the center of this are at least two projects where people, and one where there is a potential rug, two projects where people have invested in good faith, and the projects are bloody great actually, or could be great if they were given a chance. And the other thing I want to say, and sorry, I know you can't get a word in edgeways here.
No, I'm here to listen to you.
Well, let's not forget, this is all about the Vulcan blockchain. I started in this because of Seifu,
yes.
Vulcan blockchain.
And we love you for it.
And I haven't stopped. I've got a big investment in Vulcan. I need it to work, and I've got every faith it is. But the Vulcan blockchain will not operate without projects. And we now have two projects that have been effectively erased from the Vulcan blockchain. Now, I'm sorry, as a node holder, I want as many projects as we can on, you know, and I know they're tiny projects, but they could be great if they're given time to grow and don't have to battle this ridiculous.
Everybody that's involved here is brand spanking new at this too, so people have to keep that in mind. And I think that there just may have been a lot of misunderstanding. There was some nefarious with that Sonia or Sanaya, whatever his name is. It's to me it's not. To me, that's not a good actor right there, in my opinion. Sky High says, sounds more like Keith is naive and a bad judge of character sometimes. Not a scammer, but the aforementioned is not going to incline me to trust his project. Sorry.
No, and you know what, Sky High,
fine. Yeah,
that's fine, because I'm not here to say everybody go to cough, everybody go to whatever. That's not what this is about. This is me justifying, I guess, why I haven't focused so much on Vulcan. And you know, I'm going to be absolutely honest. There is some friction between myself and Brian. And I'm not going to sit here and say anything negative about Brian, because I haven't got anything negative to say. However, because of that friction, I don't feel quite the same about covering things perhaps as I might have. You know, and the other thing, I did cover Seifu, the whole new Seifu Go. I did do 1 or 2 videos about it at the beginning. And I'm going to be brutally honest again. And again, this is nothing about Brian, but I lost quite a lot of my Seifu at the beginning of this whole thing. And I'm not blaming anybody. I'm an investor. I'm a mature investor, and I make my decisions based on whatever I see. But I took Brian's advice. I sold my Seifu when he said, and then 2 hours later he said, no, it's going to be an amazing project. And, it was all chaos. And I got back in. So I'm still in Seifu. I'm going to try my best with Seifu Go, tomorrow, whenever it launches. So I'm there in Seifu. But I'm going to be honest, some of the things in the way it's been managed don't sit well with me. And I don't want to cover it then. And it's nothing against Seifu. I'm in it. I'm an investor. But, I want to cover stuff on my channel that I absolutely can sing about like a cheerleader. And that goes to my honesty and integrity as well. I'm not saying anything negative about Seifu. I'm in it. I'm in it for the ride and I want to make money. But with just all of this that's been going on, I've sort of felt I just want to take a bit of a step back just for a little bit on the whole Vulcan Seifu thing. But also there's been very little news on Vulcan in the past few days or in the past few weeks.
Well, I, for one, would like to see that change. There goes Miss Love, says Kiwi Token experienced the same thing as CAF Token. And even though Brian has labeled it a scam, we still accept it. What makes CAF any different? That's true, Miss Love. In fact, I think you should put it back on the list. And that is solely based on your appearance here today, because otherwise I would have never thought that. But I think that you've made things, you've changed. In fact, I just put a poll out to see what people.
Oh my God, really?
And right now, there's only a few votes, 25 votes. Do you believe, Chalk? Will you trust Keith again? And 56% say yes. 44% still say no.
You know what?
But there still is the majority of the people that you have changed their minds.
Well,
because I can tell you 100% of the people before this live shot would have said no. I don't trust that.
And you know what? You go on what you hear. And if somebody, if somebody says to you, "Oh, don't trust such and such," if you're not in that anyway, why would you, But what annoys me slightly is, okay, somebody says don't trust such a body. If you don't know the facts, then just don't pay attention, but don't do anything. But it's when people then get on and speak from a voice of authority, it's a scam. Everything's ruggy. Everything he does, he rug pulls. That's what really annoys, because that is FUD, and that is FUD within our own community.
Yeah. Shadow X says, I don't believe a lot of people out there, but I have always believed and trusted Chalk. She has a great, innocent heart. Yes.
Well, let me tell you, I know people, I've had this kind of said a lot about me. I'm so nice. I'm so innocent. I'm neither of those things. But I believe in evidence. I believed in a professional approach, and I believe in basing my judgments on evidence. And I therefore get annoyed when people don't do that. And in terms of, defending Keith, I'm doing that because I've looked at the evidence and I've made my own decision about this.
Well, I trust your judgment, so that's why I'm fully on board with you. So Fowler says, I think we have to remember when money is involved, so it is a very thin line when it comes to trust in everything, and those level of mistakes, quote unquote, with good warrant worries investors to be fair to investors.
No, and I, you know what, Fowler, I completely agree. But this is where we do our own research, right? So if you research a project that had liquidity stolen by a bad developer, that's part of your research, and you make your own judgment about that. And I just do what Sky High. That makes me laugh. No way. Let me just say, after the experience I've had in the last few weeks between One, Carve, and now Zoin, actually all of which are fantastic projects, there is not a chance in hell that I will ever launch my own project, because there's viciousness and hatred out there that I don't want in my life, let me tell you. But I just will go back to the point that Miss Love made, if I may, because it is an important one. And again, I'm in Kiwi. I'm an investor in Kiwi, a tiny investor, but I've been there since the beginning, and something, happened. And actually, quite a lot more money was stolen from that project than Carve. Yeah. And that was fixed and managed really well. I have not heard one negative thing said about Kiwi, the project, Kiwi himself, whatever. And quite rightly so, because it was, whatever happened, there was a mistake then made. Whether it was, again, trusting a bad developer or something. Somebody got into that project and stole money, so there was an error. Okay,
Yeah.
it might not have been in the same era. I don't know, but my understanding is a lot more money was stolen from there than Carve, and yet, quite rightly so, Kiwi's on the project list. It's partnered with ESCO. There's so much inconsistency in that decision making. It takes my breath away. I want to understand why. What is this? You know, the only thing I can come down to is personalities. For some reason, Keith's face does not fit, and so he's the great person that we can label as a scammer, rugger. Nobody cares. It's only a tiny project. It's just Carve. Who cares? Well, I care, and so do the only 170 people that are invested in Carve, actually. Thank you, Jason.
Jen Ness wants to know when's the Daniel Prado worldwide token. That's going to happen after voting.
Do not do it. Let me
Oh, no, I will be doing it. Yes, I will. I will be doing it.
I'm joking. I'm joking, of course.
And I'm going to, it's going to be very clean, very transparent. Everyone's going to know. But AA says, Chuck, you're emotionally involved, and that might blind you to what's in front of you. Keith may be a good person, but he doesn't have a clue how to run a project. He proved that in the other live. What do you have to say about that?
What I would say is Keith would be the first person that would say he's not an orator. He finds public speaking difficult. He found the video. I think they're talking about the video that you put together, Dan. You know, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning for him. He is disabled, and that's not an excuse, but he is. The man had a bloody near brush with death a couple of years ago. You know, he's not a speaker. But equally, he's not a scammer, and he is honest, and he has integrity, and I will stand by that. I'm not blinded by anybody. Again, this goes back to, oh, Chuck's so nice, she's so trusting. Sorry, bollocks to that. I research everything, and I make my own decisions about stuff. And you know what? And I'm going to say it. Brian himself has said to me, more or less, do not cover anything to do with Keith. And I have said, no, I do not agree with that, because I have done my own research and I know the truth. And I mean, I have some evidence to back that up anyway. But this is how important this is to me. I am a truth seeker, and I will defend to the hilt anybody or anything that I believe is being bullied, is being lied about. And honestly, this is probably my downfall, and may well be my downfall. But at the end of the day, it's the downfall of a YouTube channel. I will live on, and I will live on knowing that I've supported somebody who's got honesty and integrity, and that's it.
Well, we don't want that. Let's try to fix that, okay? Let's try to get back on track here. But Kelly Productions says the truth with that, Chalk, was that Keith's son came on to the show on this channel out of nowhere, saying he knew nothing, but actually knew a lot. To be honest, all of that looked wrong, but I do trust Chalk. You see how much of a difference you make, Chalk?
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Thank you, Kelly Productions. And the only thing I would say is, until you're really in the backstage of a project, you honestly have got no idea what is going on. And the fact that Zoin launched, just as an example, and there were then 2 full days of negotiating with somebody that was, trying to get money out of the project and blackmailing the project. Nobody had a clue about that. And nobody has a clue what is going on in the background of a project. And it's only when you get the opportunity to talk about it like this that people hopefully go, oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, so maybe my original thought might need rethinking. I don't know.
Barry McCocken here with a great point. He says, you can all buy my ass token, that is. I don't know what that is, Barry, but we'll look out for it. Hey Stone says, I don't think
but I do love Barry, you know that.
I think he's joking. He was proposing something like that with Brian, I think, or something like that. I don't think Keith is a bad actor, but I don't believe I can make money in cash, says K Stone. It has 11,000 in liquidity and a 19% sell tax. Come on now. What is that all?
Okay. So the sell tax is only temporary because the liquidity needs to be built up. So
so that's only a temporary
oh
tax.
yeah. So
Okay. What's the temporary? Is there a time on it, or is there an amount on it? Meaning, like, once they get to a certain amount in liquidity, or is there a time?
So the norm, oh God, this is testing my memory, but the norm is a 3% buy tax, and I think it's 7% sell, but it gives reflections back. So, the sell tax is at that, because from that holders get reflections. So that's how the money is going to be made by holders. But yeah, the sell tax at the moment is completely temporary, completely and utterly. It's not. I don't know how long it will be, but the aim of Keith and the project is to get that down to what is the norm.
I just asked him to come on and explain the tax if he wants.
Oh, he'll be asleep now. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning.
I'm sure he's not. He's watching. I'm pretty sure he's watching. He knows that you're coming on.
So. He does, but I know he was very tired earlier. I mean, it's up to anybody to come on, obviously, but I'm not. If he doesn't come on, don't say that, oh, Keith had the opportunity, because it's, he's in Australia and it is, I think, 3 o'clock.
No, the only reason why I wanted to come on is just to tell us what the 19% tax is. Because I know that Greek was not happy about that. I was like, I don't know why he's putting that on there. But now you just said it's a temporary thing, which is understandable. That to build liquidity, I think that's a great idea. And holders buying into it should like that, because then they know that they're not going to be dumped on. You're going to get 20% cut right away, 19% cut. So nobody wants that. Let me see here. Brian Legend made a few mistakes, admitted it, and moved on like a man, but he's an excellent judge of character, and he has picked a remarkable team of people. So you were considered a part of the team, though, for Half Token, weren't you? Or were you just someone that was taking an interest to it?
So what happened was, the project launched. I just thought, that looks interesting, and I offered to make a video, but then Keith asked if I think this is what happened. Part of being in CARF is that if you buy an NFT, which is only $20, you get entered into a community draw every week. And Keith asked if I would facilitate the live, because it's hard for him to do a draw on a live. So I said, yeah, of course. So every Monday we jump on a live and do a little AMA, and I do the draw. But the other thing to mention about CARF, which is unknown unless you're in it, Keith launched CARF I think it was back end of December, maybe the beginning of January, I can't remember, because Vulcan was about to launch in January, right? Remember those days when we were due to launch on, I don't know, 21st of January, wasn't it, or something? And of course, then Vulcan got delayed. But Keith is so honest and true to a word. I said, part of being in CARF, if you buy an NFT, you get this draw every week, and you win 6,000 CARF or $200, depending on the value of CARF at the time. But because Keith had started the draws, he actually said he would continue those draws until Vulcan launched. Now, he didn't have to do that, but he said, CARF was, the first version of CARF was designed to sit on Vulcan and take advantage of the rebasing and all of that kind of thing. But he said, well, okay, Vulcan isn't launching, but I want to be true to my community. I'm going to still offer the prize of 6,000 CARF or $2,000 every week. And we are now on week 19 of this draw. And every Monday, I do a little live with Keith, and we do the community draw. And, there's only 300 holders of the NFTs, and people have a good chance of winning. And there you go. But that's a sign of the project. Keith could have said at that point, oh, Vulcan's not, launching, come back in a few months, and that's that. But he's funded that, again, some of it from his own pocket, some of it from the treasury of the project. It's just part of being in CARF, and that's what we do. So I got involved in CARF in that way. So I have done weekly AMAs since then on a Monday. We do about half an hour on a Monday. It's hardly dropping everything to do calf. But I have done along the way, I think it's probably 5 other video, like little update videos about calf. So it's not like I'm doing my major videos. And the other thing I will say, and I know I've mentioned this to others, I'm not like you and Greek. I know you guys, you and Pride, you're doing daily updates on Vulcan and you jump on and you do it. I've never been like that. And I think that's why we all work so well together, because we all offer something different. When I'm making a video, you know yourself, I spend a lot of time editing. And
Yes.
before I put a video out, there's at least, between filming
It's a lot of time. Yeah.
There's at least 5 or 6 hours goes into each one of my videos. So I make videos when there's something to tell, okay?
Yes.
And, that's why I've been doing videos about calf and Zoin, because there is something to tell there. And again, my whole idea behind this was to bring news of a number of projects to the Vulcan community because they might be interested in it. And that's how I got started in looking at the projects. Which projects would I be interested in? Well, calf actually quite interests me. One looks great with its tokenomics. And Zoin came along and I kind of got involved in that because I was kind of dragged into it because of these negotiations. But when I looked at it, it's like, actually, this really works and it could be great,
Well, you've got an advocate down there, Miss Love. She's defending
Miss Love.
very much down there in the comments. We also have a bunch of different things being mentioned here when it comes to chalk. She says Barry McCogner says, I would support chalk token. Chalk can go out on her own and be independent. I want chalk sky high, says chalk token. There you go.
No, thank you all. I do appreciate it, but Barry, can I just say, Barry, you literally do my head in. I love you, Barry, but you do my head in. You know what? We had another little release the chalk. Barry, will you stop being so nice? Because I tell you off so often.
He loves the chalk.
You know what? I'm gonna, and this is what also gets my goat. So I was in one Discord the other day. I'm not in there a lot, but I am still an investor, and I love the project and all of that. But suddenly Barry does his thing, and this, we go off piece, let's say, into all sorts of stuff. And I
do that with people.
Yeah, I know, but as a woman, I'm trying to hold standards, professional standards in a Discord that, on all of that. Anyway, so I just say, oh, do we have to do this? And that suddenly turns on me being called a Karen, not by Barry, but by other community members. People jumping on me, kind of saying, oh, here she goes again. She's a Karen. She's boring. She hates fun. If you don't like it, chalk, get out of the Discord and all that. And I just think...
And you need to laugh at that kind of stuff. I'd be like, yeah, I'm a Karen.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, I've been called a lot worse, let me tell you. But underneath all of that, again, is this, I just want to be here to make money and invest and be professional. That's what I want. And I know we all have a laugh and a joke, and I don't want to stop that. But sometimes I make a stand, and I do that because I am principled. I've got values, and I hold to them dearly. And I think that comes with age as well. And, I hold my principles about some stuff that's said in Discord, and I hold my principles about Keith being an honest man who is being bullied out of the community with what is a great little project. That's why I'm standing up for this. And anything else related. And again, I'm in Zoin, and I would stand up. And what we're trying to do in Zoin is something incredible, because not only has it got great tokenomics, but we're trying to change this whole damn culture. That's what we're trying to do.
Tomo says, chalk, as a fellow Brit, I love you, but I think you've been naive regarding Keith and his son. Focus on SafeGo and Vulcan.
We're all entitled to our opinions, and I have mine, and I'm standing by them, but thank you.
Miss Love also says, I love all the projects, especially because they're created from our own community members.
And this is so frustrating. We've got people, not just Keith, but others. We should be throwing our arms around every single dear little project that we have.
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Well, talk about this this whole thing with we've gotten that cleared up. I think that people should have a better understanding. Let's talk now
Thank you.
about the whole discrepancy with Brian and where you're going to go with that. You know, we want you to participate more. I understand that you don't want to feel obligated to do things every day like I do, like Pride and Greek. And even now, Chris Cruz is on a daily basis doing things. But can I get you to commit to at least one live shot a week with the ladies of Vulcan? Can we do a live shot with the ladies of Vulcan every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whichever day you pick? And it's every single week. One live shot, 1 hour. That's all I'm asking.
Let's talk about that then, shall we? Because let me tell you, this is not for want of trying. You know, I have done a couple of ladies live shots.
Sure.
I have tried to get this off the ground. And this is no criticism of our ladies, but I will go back to what I've said about the culture in our discords. Right? That themselves because they will be commented on their appearance. We've got ladies that feel insecure. This is a hard space for women.
Okay.
Right?
But can we just allow them to just come on and be a talking bubble? I mean, they can do that. They can do that.
But they don't want to put themselves out there because of all of this shit that goes around.
Like this is what they can look like.
Ridiculous.
They could do this. And then I could be like, well, I couldn't be one of the ladies, but pretend I'm one of the ladies of Vulcan. And we're on a live shot together, just like this. This is fantastic.
Listen, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Now you and Mrs. Worldwide would be regulars on there. I'm telling you right now, because she's not going to miss that. She'll be there every week with you. And we already know that Susan Emerson is going to be there every week with you. So that's 3 regulars. You're going to be there every week. Right. And it doesn't have to be only women. You can bring in guys as guests and stuff like this. But there's a core group. You, Susan, and Mrs. Worldwide. You guys have this, and you bring in different ladies from time to time to talk about crypto every week.
Okay.
That's what I think would be a big, gigantic hit, by the way.
I am not. Thank you. And I would love to spend time with Mrs. Worldwide. And I think, by the way, she and I and Susan do break the mold of the ladies who are less forthright in feeling they can come forward. But I will just say one thing about Susan, and I'm not speaking for Susan, but you may notice that you haven't seen Susan for a while. She's taken a little bit of a back step because of all sorts of things that are going on.
Sure.
So, you know, this is not an easy space to be for anybody. Okay? And we've all got to make our decisions about what we cover, what we want to invest in. And I respect anybody who will say, well, I'm not interested in CARF, I don't like the tokenomics, or whatever it might be.
All of these things are incredible topics to bring up in one weekly live shot. Every week, you guys can talk about this. There's too much going on every week. I mean, I can understand in a day you don't have enough to talk about, but in a week, you guys can have a lot to talk about. And I think Ms. Worldwide can come on and back me up on this when she says, when it comes to being on.
That's fine. And what I would say, I don't think there's any beef between me and Brian. He expressed his opinions and I expressed mine, and we kind of parted ways. Well, and there she is. What I would say, though, is that for the first time, Brian has never dictated to any of us what we should or shouldn't cover. And again, I don't want to speak about Brian when he's not here, and I'm certainly not saying anything against him or negatively, but he did pop up. He popped up doing all.
We talk about Brian all the time without him.
Yeah, I know. Right. But he did pop up to me out of the blue when all of this drama was happening and basically said, I don't want you to cover anymore. Oh, you shouldn't be covering this. Goodbye, kind of thing. And I was a bit shocked by that. So I pushed back. And I think I'll admit, I was annoyed that suddenly we haven't been dictated to in terms of what we can and can't or should cover. Brian's never done that, but suddenly he was telling me or asking me not to do something or do something, and I thought that was weird. And I just said, I can't really agree with that. I just can't. I feel like I'm being censored, and I couldn't agree with that. So it's not that me and Brian are like not talking or anything. I mean, I sent him a little message yesterday and he acknowledged it and all that was all fine. But also I have to hold dear to what I believe in, because, you know, honesty and integrity starts in yourself. And if I'm not honest and have integrity with myself, then I've got no right to preach to anybody. Hey, Mrs. Worldwide.
Hey, Chalk.
How are
Sorry, guys.
you?
I'm all right. I'm a little tired, but excuse me. I have a few things I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
First of all, I have missed seeing you, Chalk, but I do try to go and find your videos after the fact.
I know, and you always give me a little blue heart. I love it. Thank
That's
you.
my signature. Yes. So yeah, I do understand. So about Keith, I have to say that I think a big problem with Keith is that he's been too trusting, and then he likes to stay in the background as opposed to putting his face out there. And then that makes it look shady for people looking at it when they're looking for something to be a problem that's coming from Keith. So I think if Keith either just said yes or no and made his face just be out there like everybody else, instead of trying to be a background person, it might look like a little bit more or a little less shady. Because to be honest, when you just put it out on paper, it's fine. But then when you because these are a bunch of people, most of these people don't know each other. And I think that's another problem. What's that guy, Oliver T? He didn't know Keith. And then as soon as something happened, he was like, oh my gosh. And he was flipping out. I'm not going to go through the whole thing again. But if he knew him and then decided to go into business with him, because that's really what this is. These are a bunch of people who are neighbors.
Yeah,
if you think about it. If you
but
go into business
met.
with your neighbor, and if you've met online and you've taken the time to get to know this person virtually through video and talking, okay, at least you know that person to a certain extent. But there's these people, they have no idea. They know them from their Discord names and they don't really know each other. And then something happens and then boom, you're like, oh my gosh, so, and then the rest of the people who are all spectators in the community, it's like the rest of the nosy neighbors looking over the fence. They have no idea what happened. And people are generally left to make their own decisions. And most people are going to make decisions emotionally over factually. And it's nice that you bring out the facts, but people a lot of times have already made their own decisions. And it just causes more drama. And then the other thing go ahead. What are you going to say?
No, I was just saying, I agree with everything you just said.
Yeah. So it's been tough. And I saw, I'll get to that after, Daniel. I have two other things I want to talk about. But yeah, it's been tough, watching this because you're like, what the heck? But I have no bone in the fight. But, and then about the women, it is really hard. And I'll be honest, I don't generally care about crypto. I care about the money. I care about, the community members that I've gotten to know either, through the comments or the people, especially you guys that I got to meet in Dubai. That was great. We had a lot of, memories that we made, good times. I was cracking up about Greek on the boat with Daniel yesterday. It was great. It was great. I'm trying to hold it in because my husband's been acting up, but oh my gosh, good times with you guys. Yeah. So that with the women, it's really tough. And I know Barry's a nice guy, but if that his humor is not for most. And Barry should probably have his own Discord where everyone knows that's how he's going to talk, because that's not appropriate for business. Because even though everyone acts like it's community, if my neighbor was talking to me like that, joking like that, I'd be like, what the heck? Yeah. So, he really should just be like, okay, this is the Barry, Discord, and put the triple X's on there. So everyone already knows when they go in there.
Fill your boots. I agree. And the reason I got a little bit upset in the recent thing that I talked about in the one Discord, and again, nothing against one, but it just happened to be in that Discord, is that it had come up a couple of weeks beforehand. I'd made a comment and I'd said, look, just make a separate channel. Just make a Barry channel. That's fine. Right, I don't care that it happens.
He has one in my Discord.
Yeah, exactly. Fill your boots. That's
I love Barry, though. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a fantastic person.
I think he's a great guy, too. But there's a time and a place for everything. And
that's my point. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
no, we like
Barry. No, we love Barry, but there is a time and a place.
Turn it up and turn it down. He turns it up too much.
Yeah.
Every Discord has a Barry channel, says Miss Love. That's true. Well, maybe they need one in one then. They need one in one.
Well, and my slight annoyance was, I think I made the suggestion, or somebody made the suggestion, let's make a Barry channel in here. And I kind of went, yeah, great. But then it wasn't seen through, and, it's busy and people forget. But then we're back where we are. And then I get I get kind of alienated from the community because I'm saying it, and it's just like, oh Jesus, can we just be better than this?
Right. Because this really is business. People need to remember that. There have been some friendships that have been forged, but the majority of this is business. It's people's money and people you don't know. So when someone like Chalk, whether she's a woman or not, when she says the fact that, hey, this is business, let's be a little bit more appropriate in this business space, people shouldn't be jumping on her at all, man or woman.
Well, and I would say that,
and calling you a Karen, my goodness, that was terrible. That's like a curse word today.
I've been called so much worse, but we won't go into that. But the point also is that I want to make is, I'm saying this as a woman, so I kind of see it and I feel probably more sensitive to it. But there's so many men that also jump onto my comments and say, absolutely agree. We don't want to see it. There's a time and a place. Why do we have to put up with that stuff in here? So I'm calling it out from a woman's perspective, but it's not just women.
But it's not just women. Yeah, my oldest son hates when he sees Barry's comments and he makes a face, and he's 21 years old and he's a boy. He's a, he's a guy, he's a man, whatever. So like I said, Barry, I think he's a very nice guy. His humor is, for certain people, and it should be kept for those certain people. And then the last thing I wanted to say for now is, yes, this is about Luis. He wants to know, I gotta translate this. He wants to know what's going on. What are the new plans with Zoin and who's the CEO and stuff.
Well, first we have to read it for everybody to hear you say this in Spanish.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Mrs. Worldwide, lo que quería preguntar es cuáles son los planes del nuevo CEO de Zoin.
Oh, I love that.
Mm.
I love it.
Isn't she
sexy?
Calm down, Dano. Goodness. Anyway.
That's so funny. Well, no, it is gorgeous that you speak Spanish, and very clever of you as well, may I say. So Zoin, the new CEO of Zoin is somebody called, he's called Doors Monkey in Discord. So if you go into Vulcan or One or anywhere, you'll see him as Doors Monkey. But we've changed that in Zoin to Andrew. That's his first name. And I'm actually Andrea in Zoin because that's my first name, believe it or not. And because, that's a tiny little step in terms of what we're trying to do in terms of transparency. We just want everything out there. We want to be honest as the day is long. So what we're trying to do at the moment in Zoin is to build the community, and we're looking at all sorts of things at the moment. We're looking at, potential NFTs. We were trying to, look at the possibility of ESCO pairing, but I think that's ended in, I don't know what, it's ended in Zoin being taken off the project list. So who knows what's going to happen there. But, we're trying to start this project from it's only a week or two old. It's had a bit of drama at the beginning, but it's got a great team. Yes, Andrew is fully doxed. Well, okay, so Andrew's been on camera. We have fully doxed to each other, i.e. showing each other our government, IDs. So I've seen his, he's seen me. So we're fully doxed as a team. He's been as open and transparent as he possibly can be on camera. I've done a live AMA with him. He did a live AMA with Kevin White from, I want to say PTC, but I can't remember, who does an assessment of a project from different perspectives of different criteria. So he did an AMA with Andrew. And if he goes on anybody's live streams, he will fully dox. There's no question about it. I cannot explain him more than he is one of the, I've only known him a couple of weeks, but the conversations we've had, he is as honest as the day is long, and I cannot speak enough. That's another UK saying properly, but
I love these sayings that he has. It's like the greatest.
As honest as the day is long, that means he's honest.
Well, let's get to this comment here by Biz Entertainment. As you know, I've already been speaking about this pretty much for the last 20 minutes. Biz Entertainment says, Daniel Prado Worldwide, I've asked for this as well. Chalk and Mrs. Worldwide would be great with a 1-hour weekly show. Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time is perfect slot right after Fowler's show. So it looks if we were to get some people in the let me put up a poll, by the way.
Yeah, I can definitely do that if you can, Chalk.
By the way, Chalk, I'm going to end the poll. Excuse me, something's caught in my throat. You guys talk.
While you cough, Chalk, is that a good time for you?
That sounds great. I mean, yeah. I mean, there might be weeks when I can't do it, but there might be weeks when you can't do it. But yeah,
Right.
I'm pretty much a free agent, to be honest. You know, I've got stuff going on, but I can always reschedule stuff. So I'd
Same
love
here.
to do it, Mrs. Worldwide, and we can get Susan is brilliant, and she'd be great on there. But we can get other ladies on, and maybe they'll come on if you're on. But if not, then we can go on by ourselves, can't we?
Yeah. As long as I have one person, I'm good.
Exactly. And what I can't do is do a Daniel Prado and go on and talk for 4 hours by myself. I think
The
I'd die a
monologuing? No.
Yeah, you don't need to do that. But like the show would be pretty much week. Like the idea is the show would be pretty much weekly, 1 hour, and you know, give or take, you could go a little bit more, you can go a little bit less. But if you can't do it on like a specific day, like because let's say you're setting it for Wednesday, but you can do it Tuesday, you can do it Thursday, you just switch it up. This isn't the network. We don't have to worry about being in an absolute time slot. But if you could do it a weekly thing, I just put the poll out, and so far we have 28 votes, and 89% say yes, they would watch a Mrs. Worldwide weekly live. And we have, 123 people watching, and 33 people have voted. It's up to 91% to 9. So we've got a few haters. That's fine, though. People can hate. They're allowed to.
I need 100% before I perform. That's all I'm saying. Oh, the Greek voted yes, so we're okay.
Yes. Greek's pretty cool.
Yes.
No, listen, I'm up for that, and I've always loved the idea of a ladies specific, not ladies specific. We can have blokes on, but led by ladies. Blokes, yeah. Don't you?
I know what they are. It's so funny.
I've always wanted to do that because I think.
Well, it would be a woman's show though. Like the guys, the blokes can come on. It's just there as guests.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's your show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I think that'd be great. I'd be very happy to do that. Yeah.
Well, there we go. We have a new show, everybody.
Okay. So Gus Navarro said he wanted to hear you read Spanish, but sorry, Gus, eso no pasará.
No, I'm not going to read Spanish. I'm not good at Spanish. I'm hopefully once I'm rich, I'll go and spend a few years in a Spanish-speaking country, and then I'll come back to Mrs. Worldwide. No, I'm just playing.
No, what really would happen?
What the heck?
We'd both go, and then you'd be asking me to translate the whole time. That's
right. Yeah. Dilo en español, says Gus Navarro.
That's the most you're gonna get from him.
There you go. I got it. I did it.
Not bad.
Oh, here goes a good one too. Sky High says Greek would make a great lady for the ladies of crypto.
Oh, poor Greek.
Greek. He liked that one though. He thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, so that about does it for this. I think we've gotten a lot out, and now we have a new show to look forward to. You have maybe some time with Brian and on the side here, like in a day or two. You and Brian can talk. Maybe you can trade some things with him. Let him know why you think the way you feel. And maybe we can get back on track. But in the meantime, all of that has been spoken about. We know more about it. Maybe you and Brian have your conversation, but we now look forward to a new weekly show after you and Mrs. Worldwide talk and figure out what day you want to do it. And we get to hear more of your ideas and more about you, life in general, because you guys are going to be doing a show together. That's fantastic. You and maybe Susan, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure if Susan is free, Susan's a very busy lady. She's got all sorts of entrepreneurial stuff going on, but I know she's very keen to be part of this kind of ladies leading kind of thing. So I think she'd be. I don't want to speak for her, but I'm sure if and when she can join us, she will definitely.
I love it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that for sure.
Well, thanks, Talk. I'm just going to go. I'm going to get into the announcement that was made earlier for Vulcan and the blockchain. But thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. After that, I'm going to go to the rundown and wrap up the show.
Well, I would just say I appreciate the time. I appreciate the opportunity to say my piece. As I say, I'm not expecting suddenly everybody to go to COF and say, "Oh, what a brilliant project" or anything else. But all I'm saying is, please, guys, let's stop with rumors and all of that. Let's be professionals and let's give two amazing projects at least an opportunity to thrive. Even if you're not going to invest yourself, don't do them down. It's not fair.
Right.
But I really appreciate the time. And actually, just to finally say, there is nothing wrong between me and Brian. We expressed our
Yeah, no, I know.
views
I'm just saying, like, you guys will have your little conversation. You have to iron some
but all
things
he
out.
has to do, he has to sit through the hour and a half that we've been talking, and he will fully understand where I'm coming from.
Yes. Well, he watches all of them, so that's
Yeah,
the
of
good.
course.
I mean, he might not get through a 3 or 4 hour one, but I think a 90-minute one he'll be able to get through.
Yeah.
So, thanks, Chalk. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Sorry. Then a couple of
I'm
things.
sorry. Go ahead, Mrs. Worldwide.
No, I went to click one of the
Go
comments.
ahead.
And like 2 comments came up. It's okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'm excited about the whole show with Chalk because you and I were talking about this the other day. I wanted to talk to a few of the women of Vulcan and do my own series with them. I can still do that, but it'll be nice,
Yeah, that's a different thing. That's a whole
Yeah,
different
it'll be
thing.
nice to have the show with Chalk, and get ourselves out there. So,
That sounds like a plan, and it was born here today. Just like I always say, Mrs. Worldwide, you never know what's going to happen on Daniel Prado Worldwide. And look at what happened today. So I'm going to get into this announcement, Mrs. Worldwide, and then we're going to go into the rundown, okay?
okay, thanks. See you.
Okay. All right, let's get over to Discord, everybody, so I can show you this. You'll notice that I changed the colors. I now have like this nice little minty green going on. It's not white anymore, but it's not dark. I can't do the dark. Just does not work for me, okay? But this is the CAV Discord. I was going in there. By the way, everybody, excuse me, don't forget to come here to Daniel Prado Worldwide Discord, okay? A lot going on in here all the time for your enjoyment. This is the Safe Who Go. This is the announcement for the partnership that he did yesterday. But we're going to go here to the Vulcan blockchain. And right here, you see where it says announcements, but right underneath there it says blockchain announcements, which I would have thought this should be a part of that. And when launch, read the latest. We're going to go to that. I have to stop sharing and go back so that we can get to this. It's a different thing, different tab that I have to actually bring up. Vulcan blockchain progress update, May 2023. To the Vulcan community, we're fully aware of the excitement surrounding the highly anticipated launch of both the Gamma testnet leading to mainnet. We share your excitement and appreciate your enthusiasm for the project. We wish we could reveal all the intricate details of what goes on behind the scenes, but unfortunately, we're bound by certain constraints. Nevertheless, we want to provide you with an update on the current state of play. Rest assured that progress is being made, and we're working diligently to bring you a blockchain you can be proud of. While we can't divulge all the specifics just yet, please know that your support and patience mean the world to us. Rebasing. We are excited to share that we recently conducted internal testing of an early version of Gamma. Our dedicated development team has been working tirelessly to ensure the creation of a stable version. As we approach the final stages, we are diligently addressing any remaining bugs to ensure a smooth experience. Gamma testnet. The public release of Gamma testnet is imminent. In the upcoming release, you will have the opportunity to engage in test transactions of Vulcan coins, observing the seamless transfer process while monitoring the accumulation of rebases. Furthermore, you will gain insights in the tax collection mechanisms across various wallets, including the Fire Pit. This testing phase will enable developers to deploy their contracts and delve into the intricate mechanics of a rebasing blockchain within their respective protocols. We look forward to providing this invaluable testing environment fostering innovation and collaboration within our community and the broader industry. The Vulcan DApp, in parallel with our efforts on Gamma, we are actively developing the Vulcan DApp. Our team has recently presented an early version of the DApp, and we are continuously working on integrating additional functionalities and features. The Vulcan DApp aims to serve as a comprehensive platform, consolidating all essential metrics and providing a centralized hub for all things related to bars. We are committed to delivering a user-friendly and informative experience through the Vulcan DApp. So this, to me, is what we're talking about when it comes to that. That's where you're going to go for your flex. That's where you're going to go for your power. You understand? And other things that we might need to do. Node holders. Currently, over 330 full node holders have completed the KYC process in readiness for onboarding to mainnet. This significant participation highlights the strong support and commitment of our node holders. As we approach the mainnet launch, we will continue to provide you with the updates and detailed information. We encourage all node holders to stay engaged and tuned into the dedicated node channels where we share important announcements and instructions. Your involvement and dedication are greatly appreciated as we work together towards a successful mainnet deployment. Mainnet. This is what we're all waiting for, right? I mean, we're waiting for Gamma and everything else that they just spoke about, but this is a good one. Mainnet. As we approach the imminent launch of Gamma testnet, we are pleased to announce that the most challenging phase of the protocol development is now behind us. The dedicated efforts and perseverance of our team have brought us to this significant milestone. Looking towards mainnet, we anticipate a faster paced progress as we shift our focus towards thorough testing and comprehensive auditing. This pivotal stage will ensure the robustness and security of our mainnet. We are excited about the future steps in this journey and remain committed to delivering a world-first blockchain protocol. As we continue to move forward, we'll keep you informed about any significant developments and milestones reached. While we'd love to give you exact dates, the nature of development makes this inherently difficult. Your unwavering support has been instrumental in our journey, and we can't thank you enough. Stay tuned for more updates, and let's continue to build this incredible community together, the Vulcan team. So there you go. That's the latest when it comes to the Vulcan blockchain, which we're all excited about. And it sounds like we're going to be getting there pretty darn soon. What about you guys? You guys excited about that? Let's also check this where we are. 61 votes and 89% of you say yes, you will watch. Will you watch the Chalk and Mrs. Worldwide weekly show? 89% say yes, and 11% are haters. So we're going to end that poll right there. But, you know, you're not doing it right if you don't have haters, right? That's the way it goes. So let's see here. Let me get to some comments. Don't think the Brian Legend ignored you. He said he's been up for 3 days in the morning and was going to sleep. Yeah, I know he doesn't. I don't think that he ignores me. Sometimes he does, but you know, for good reason, because he's busy doing stuff. You know, but if he's watching, he would have said something. He would have been like, yeah, you know. But I'm sure he would have loved to have seen Chalk. Okay. Where's the DApp? Where's the DApp? Did you guys see that video that I made of when launch? I'm not gonna play it every single day, but you know, I played it yesterday on Chris's and on my live shot. It was funny. I'll play it another. Like maybe we'll play it on Wednesday for the 8-hour extravaganza. The Safe Will Go extravaganza, everybody, this Wednesday on everybody's channel. Everybody's channel. But of course, you're all gonna come here to Daniel Prado. Everybody else can have like 2 or 3 people watching. Everybody else should be right here on Daniel Prado. Okay? And by the way, don't forget to leave a comment at the end of the video. At the end of the video, come back and make a comment. And Mrs. Worldwide is going to say something to you.
Crypto Terry and I are on tonight at 5 p.m.
Crypto Terry and Mrs. Worldwide at 5 p.m. Watch out for that. It'll be on my channel, also Greek's channel and Mrs. Worldwide's channel. But try to go to Mrs. Worldwide's channel so she can get that, get that. And go over there to her channel right now. By the way, it's called Handicapped and Hot Topics. Biz, if you could put the link down there. Handicapped and Hot Topics. Please go there and offer a subscription for her, please. And also hit that notification bell, like Greek says. Hit that notification bell. And then this way you'll be advised when she's going on live. She's going to have Crypto Terry on in just a few hours. All right. Also, by the way, don't forget this afternoon, in just a little while, Fowler at 3 p.m. Fowler at 3 p.m. This is Mrs. Worldwide's channel. If you guys can go over there and please subscribe to her, and then also watch for her today speaking with Crypto Terry, aka I Love Peanut Butter, a fascinating life that this guy has led, and I'm sure he's going to offer all kinds of great information about things that have happened to him in his life that are going to be entertaining and interesting to listen to. So Mrs. Worldwide speaking to him in just a few hours. But before that, check out Fowler, who is at 3 p.m. today. And before that, as soon as this video is released, the Greek DeFi guru is going to release his video. Literally, as soon as this video is up, he puts it out, okay? So you guys can check that out too, all right? The Greek, then Fowler, then Mrs. Worldwide, all in order. The Greek, then Fowler, then Mrs. Worldwide. All right, everybody? And also subscribe to Fowler as well. But Mrs. Worldwide doesn't have that many subscribers, so it'd be nice if you guys can do that, because she's doing great work over there. And on top of it, she's going to start doing a show with Andrea Chalk, which we like, Chalk Talk. So that's going to be interesting. And if you guys want to be notified about that, hit that notification bell. Don't forget to leave a comment at the end of this show, okay, everybody? Please do not forget to do that. Let's look at some comments, because we still have a few minutes before the end of the hour. ¿Dónde está el DAP? Gus Navarro. He's trying to do everything he can to get me to speak Spanish. He appreciates everything, or he appreciates Chalk coming on, says Jason Hayes. We all do. Thank you so much, Kelly. When DAP? About 9 months. All his teachers will say, where's the DAP? Q2 will be achieved, Stanley Bukai Kamalu says, and I agree with that. By the way, we all had Brian here on the channel, didn't we? You saw it, he said it. I don't see anything wrong with everything that you said was perfectly, outlined when I said it, okay? Which I was talking about everything being, worked on, all right? I need to see the new Prado comedy vid. You guys want to see that? Dan, what should our comment be? It's funny when you provide the comment. Oh, okay. Remember I told everybody to put word? I put like a whole bunch of people put word in the comments. I thought that was hysterical. I don't know. What can be the comment? I'll come back to that. Let's see if I can think of something good. There goes Handicapped and Hot Topics. That's Mrs. Worldwide's channel that she does videos on. She has another one where she does cooking shorts, I think, and that's the Mrs. Worldwide one, but this is the one she's going to be doing. Yeah, there goes Fowler as well. The Greek YouTube channel is there as well. He's going to be releasing his video right after this video ends, which is in 12 minutes. We'll be done, okay? So look out for Greek. Greek, you could set yours to start. You could set your thing to come out in 12 minutes. Would be cool to see Mrs. Worldwide interview Brian Legend. Well, Brian is probably not going to be interviewed by Mrs. Worldwide, but you never know. You can never say never. That's true. That because I would love to see that also. The Greek has to make a new video. Why? Oh, because he was going to probably do the same thing that I just did. You mean because I just read that whole thing? That's all right. We all do like some of the same stuff sometimes. Sometimes we do the same thing in our videos, which is fine. And yes, you can ask him, see what he says. Daniel, your show is maturing very nicely. Oh, well, thank you so much, Leon Decord. Vulcan ready. Yes, me too. Chappie says, Mrs. Worldwide, I just subscribed to your YouTube channel. Well, there you go. Thank you so much, Chappie. Everybody else, if you can do that too. Razmataz, did you? Leon Decord, can you go to Mrs. Worldwide, the handicapped and hot topics, and all of you guys, please go over there and subscribe so that we can be able to get Mrs. Worldwide some views on her upcoming show with Chalk Talk. Everybody loves Chalk Talk, but as you knew, it was that time. You knew it was going to come. Boom, shaka taka laka. It is now time for the rundown. It's now that time to put your name at the bottom so that I don't forget you during the rundown, because nobody likes that. Doesn't nobody want that? Of course we do not. Brian is very humble. He met Mrs. Worldwide in Dubai. I don't see him saying no. Just got to get him when he has a moment. Yes, that's true. Maybe Brian Legend does say yes. We will see. I will subscribe ASAP to her channel. Says Pastila. Thank you so much. Razmataz is subscribed. Good job. Thank you so much. Jorge Calderon says this is like a bunch of emojis, but it only spells it out for me, Jorge. I don't even know what those are. Brian Legend's YouTube channel, everybody. Go ahead and subscribe there if you haven't already. I don't know how you could possibly not be on Brian's channel. That guy in San Francisco was here, everybody. The Greek DeFi guru was here. Of course he was. Crypto Car Hauler was here. Crypto Car Hauler again was here. Atomic Punk was here. That's right. It's rundown time. Jason Hayes was here, everybody. There goes Kelly Productions was here. OBZ was here. Stanley Bakai Kamalo was here. OBZ was here. Boom Chaka Taka Laka. Gus Navarro was here. Frank Family Over Everything was here, everybody. You gotta love it. Jay Legend was here. There goes Mrs. Worldwide, of course. She was here. Of course, Chalk Talk was here. Chalk Talk was here today. Noah was here. Raz Mataz was here. Senor Rojo was here. Pastila was here. Sky High was here. Noah was here. There goes Fowler, of course. He was here as well. Miss Love was here. Tomo was here. There goes Crypto Tejano, who was here. Nick Zhang was here as well. Luis MG was here. You gotta love it, everybody. There goes that one, Ehab Bure, who was here, everybody. One of our top holders, by the way. One of our top 10 holders right there, everybody. There goes AA, who was here. King Hitching was here. The Bullish One was here. Chris Cruz Live was here, everybody. Jason Hayes, Brian Payne checking in. You gotta love it. He was here. Twig was here as well. Barry McCockenher was here. AA was here. OBZ, Grant Brown was here. Boom! Let me go all the way to the top so that we can see who was here and who came in to round out the top 5. Who was it, everybody? There goes Daryl Everett, who was here. Ron Legend was here. Jorge Calderon was here. 10X Godfather was here. Pietro Savastano. There goes Daryl Everett right there. The Knicks was here. Vulcan Maniac was here. Gino Sensi was here. New commenter, everybody. Aurora Bitcoin was here. Brett Nash was here. My name Jeff was here. Iris Disla, Spudley RJ was here. Leon Decord, Tartan Madman was here. Jay Legend comes in first. Sky Dreams was second. Wise Choice Money was third. Richard Hudman, The Show, and Aaron Nash. They all round out the top 5. 8 were here. There goes Curly. She was here as well. Shepsky was here. James Moe was here. Of course, Biz Entertainment was here. Shadow X, Ron Legend. Let's go all the way down to the bottom to see who it was that I may have missed. But of course, I don't, because you guys made sure that I don't. You put your name down there at the bottom like you're supposed to. Crypto Car Hauler was here. Atomic Punk was here. Jason Hayes was here. Leon Decord was here. Shadow X was here. Raz Mataz was here. Don't forget, everybody, to come back and leave a comment when the video is done. It helps a lot with the algorithm. Don Cooley was here. Richard Hudman was here. And it looks like that's going to be it. Biz with the last comment, reminding everybody to come back and leave a comment when the video is done, which is about to happen right now. That's it for this one, guys. I will see you next time.